Hello, I'm Kay Eggleston, president of Dallas College Richland Campus. Dallas College is honored to be the sponsor of this year's Tech Titans Hall of Fame Award. Partnering with Tech Titans, Dallas College is advancing and growing the region's future technology and technology-enabled workforce as part of its ongoing mission to transform lives and communities through higher education. Through this partnership, together Dallas College and Tech Titans will shape a vibrant, innovative, and prosperous North Texas region for generations to come. Congratulations to all the winners on this stellar awards night.
Hello, good evening. I'm Kay Eggleston with Dallas College, and I am so pleased to be here this evening to make this very important award announcement. Since 2010, Tech Titans has honored a North Texas technology visionary by inducting them into the Tech Titans Hall of Fame. We again recognize an individual for outstanding leadership in assisting, advancing, and accelerating the performance of the technology industry and/or adoption of technology in North Texas. The individual's career must span more than 1 decade and reach far beyond the individual's company or organization. The frequency and selection of inductees are at the discretion of the Hall of Fame Selection Committee. Our honoree this evening is an experienced entrepreneur with a demonstrated history of working in the venture capital and private equity industry. Anyone who knows him knows his philosophy: share experience, not advice. It is now my honor to recognize the 2021 Tech Titans Hall of Fame inductee, David Matthews of RevTech. Let's hear from some of David's fans about the positive impact he has had on the North Texas ecosystem.
David is awesome. He was one of the first people I met in tech in Dallas at Dallas Startup Week. He's one of the first investors in our company, and he's been a mentor with us all along the way. He's a great person, and he's one of the biggest connectors in the tech scene in Dallas that I know.
David was instrumental in helping me go from the corporate world to take my idea, to create that product, to find my first customer, to scale that business, and then eventually exit.
David taught me not only everything I know about venture capital, but also what it means to be a great investor with great ethics. And so he taught me that you can always do the right thing and really care for people deeply while also making great returns.
I think this says it all. Every founder that I meet that's just getting into tech, I introduce to David because he truly is the center of the startup tech scene here in Dallas.
Thank you. And thank you to the nominating committee and to Tech Titans for this thoughtful recognition. I believe in the power of mentorship. Having benefited myself from the mentorship of a well-known local entrepreneur, Sam Wiley, who happens to be my father-in-law, I know firsthand the impact this can have on a young entrepreneur. Sam never held my hand and told me what to do. Instead, he gave me visibility to what he was doing so that I could learn from his experience, which was much more valuable. When Sam spoke to the local chapter of Entrepreneurs Organization, or EO, in the early 90s, he invited me as his guest, and I wound up becoming a member of that organization for over 20 years. I have a couple EO friends in the audience tonight, and I'm glad to have them here. Through that membership, I developed some of the strongest relationships of my adult life. After 10 years of getting great experience from EO, I was inspired to give back during the next 10 years by launching a chapter in my home state of Oklahoma. It was out of that effort that RevTech was born. One of the most powerful lessons I learned from Sam Wiley's mentorship was how to deal with adversity. Sometimes, when the best made plans fail, a clue is being provided for something bigger and better. Take in 1999, Sam was trying to cash in on the dot-com boom by taking Green Mountain Energy public as greenmountain.com. When that effort failed, he didn't despair, but he realized that the tech space was overheated, and he went on to convince the boards of his two tech companies to put themselves on the market, Sterling Software and its retail tech spinoff, Sterling Commerce. Each company fetched $4 billion of exit value just days before the NASDAQ market crash of March 2000. In 2013, when I declared retail tech as my sole investment thesis for RevTech, most folks thought it was too limiting, given that most traditional retailers were struggling with technology and Amazon was dominating the sector. It was counterintuitive for sure, but I was able to recruit a group of local mentors, a group I lovingly refer to as recovering retail executives, to help me evaluate investment opportunities in startups. The more the traditional retailers were struggling, the better my operating model worked. Entrepreneurs from California, New York, and beyond started coming to Dallas for the connections we could make. A few of these startups even relocated to Dallas, one from as far away as Melbourne, Australia. We don't always get the matchmaking of entrepreneurs and mentors right, but when we do, it's the best way I know of to de-risk a startup investment. Examples of getting it right included the pairing of a successful e-commerce pioneer with a local outfitter of school teams called Order My Gear. The former CFO of Pier 1 Imports with a local home decor startup called The Citizenry. He told them what not to do. The former CTO of GameStop, helping with an automated store technology called Excel Robotics. And more recently, and this one was led by my colleague Rachel West, the former CEO of Neiman Marcus, matched with a supply chain transparency startup called Topple. By last year, thanks to the acceleration of e-commerce and automation trends driven by the pandemic, retail tech and fintech were elevated to the top categories for a record year of VC investment. Our portfolio companies have successfully amplified upon our seed funding to raise, as of this year, nearly $1 billion of cumulative funding, a 100-fold lift. I want to give thanks to my team members at RevTech, some of whom are here, Rachel, Stuart, Maylee, and also team members in the past. I really like to take young people fresh out of college and help get them on a path to learn this industry and be involved. I also want to thank my wife, Laurie, who's here, for her steadfast support over 32 years. My son, Stuart, and his crew at the studio for providing RevTech and our portfolio leading-edge video production. And finally, I want to thank Bill Spruill and his team at Tech Titans for including me on their board and for their great advocacy on behalf of all the tech companies here in North Texas. Thank you.
Our next award presentation is sponsored by RealPage, a leading global provider of property management software and data analytics for the real estate and rental housing industries. Presenting the Startup CEO Award is the CIO of RealPage, Barry Carter.
Thanks, everyone. The Tech Titan Startup Company CEO Award recognizes the CEO of a technology company headquartered in North Texas with 2020 operating revenue of no more than $2 million. The finalists for the Startup CEO of the CEO Award are Robert M. Adkins, Balanced Media Technology, for solving real-world problems through video games. Dr. Ty Caldwell, ShearShare, Inc., for developing a B2B marketplace for barbers and beauty operators. John David, J.D. Enright, TMG Core, for developing next-generation computing solutions. And David Powell, Spark Biomedical, Inc., for coming up with a wearable device to aid in the withdrawal from opioid addiction. And the winner of the Startup CEO Award is J.D. Enright, TMG Core.
Wow, what a great honor to have won Startup CEO of the Year by Tech Titans. On behalf of all of us here at TMG Core, we thank you. We accept this award because it's more than just the CEO. It's the entire organization that benefits from such a wonderful award. So on behalf of all of us, thank you. So 2022, we look to continue the 100% growth that we saw in 2021 and realize that value proposition to both the community that we live in as well as the industry.